Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Friday, November 4th, 2022. Today I'm going to recap last night's Game 5 of the World Series and predict how the rest of the series is going to play out. We'll recap last night's Thursday Night Football game and look ahead to the rest of the Week 9 slate. We'll look at the college football Week 10 slate with recaps of last night's games. NBA and NHL, the MLS Cup is tomorrow. We'll preview and pick that. Golf, NASCAR, news and notes, and best bet and Fab 5. We'll start with the World Series. It's a monster show. Happy Friday. We'll recap the games from last night and look ahead to the rest of the series. Astros over the Phillies 3-2 as the Astros take a 3-2 series lead. Justin Verlander gets his first ever World Series win. Noah Syndergaard the loss. Ryan Presley the save. Astros got off to a good start. Top of the first, RBI single by Jeremy Pena, 1-0. Stros, bottom of the first, tying home run by Kyle Schwarber to make it 1-1. Top of the fourth, home run Jeremy Pena to make it 2-1. Stros, top of the eighth, RBI ground out by Yordan Alvarez to score in. Altuve makes it 3-1. And then the bottom of the eighth, RBI single by Gene Segura makes it a 3-2 game. Philly had a monster opportunity in the top of the ninth, but JT Realmuto was robbed of a potential double or triple by Chase McCormick in center field, which was probably the catch of the series, if you ask me. Verlander, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts. And Noah Syndergaard, 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and 4 strikeouts. Making the case for Philadelphia coming up. They got Wheeler and Ranger Suarez back-to-back, albeit on the road. And those two guys have shown capabilities of getting big outs when it matters, not just throughout the series, but throughout the entire Major League Baseball playoffs. And in Houston, obviously it's home field, it's that crowd, that championship experience that they have. And then it's 8 o'clock on Fox is Game 5. It'll be Framber Valdez against Zach Wheeler. I almost said Jose Urquidy. The Stros are minus 148. The Phils are plus 126. Over under 7. Over is minus 105. Under is minus 115. Phils plus 1.5 is minus 188. Astros minus 1.5 is plus 155. I like the under here. This has been an under series. The pitching on both sides, for the most part, has been outstanding. I picked Astros and sticks. I'm going to stick with the pick I had. And in case there is a Game 7 on Sunday, which would mean no Masked Singer, you would think it'd be Ranger Suarez against, would it be Framber Valdez? Who went Tuesday for the Stros? Oh no, Framber Valdez is going tomorrow. It'd be McCullers. Who went in Game 3 and was bad. So if you're making a case for Philly, obviously it has to go 7, and McCullers is going to be on a short leash in Game 7 because Game 7s, as we know, all hell breaks loose. But I think Houston closes it out tomorrow night and wins their second World Series championship in a 6-year span. All right, now we'll move on to Thursday Night Football. We'll recap last night's game and look ahead to an interesting slate ahead. Eagles over the Texans 29-17. The Eagles are 8-0. Houston's 1-6-1. Jalen Hurts 21 of 27, 243 yards and 2 touchdowns. Davis Mills 13 of 22, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. All right, Sunday slate. 1 o'clock on Fox, you have the Chargers and the Falcons in what is going to be a very interesting game. on Sunday. The Chargers are favored by 3. Total is 49.5. The Chargers are still missing some key guys. Now Austin Eckler's questionable. Nobody has been ruled out of late of note for either of these teams. My pick is going to be the Falcons getting the 3, and I'm going to take them at plus 134 to win outright. Falcons just have some good vibes going right now, and they've been lucky, but let's keep the good vibes going. So give me the Falcons getting the 3 at home against the Chargers and plus 134 for them to win outright. CBS, you have the Dolphins and the Bears from Chicago. The Dolphins are giving 4.5. Total is 45.5. Very close in terms of what I project. And by the way, I project Falcons 1, total 50.5 in the Chargers-Falcons game. For this pick, I'm going to go with a slight lean to the Chicago Bears getting the 4.5. I project Miami 3, total 44 and 3/20. I'm quickly going to check if anybody knows it's been ruled out. Not for the Bears. And not for Miami either. Panthers-Bengals on Fox. The Bengals are giving 7. Total is 42.5. I'm laying the 7 with Cincinnati. This is a complete get-right spot after last week's defeat. Nobody has been ruled out over the last several days. And for Carolina, nobody either. I project Cincinnati by a whopping 14 total, 43 and 9/20. Sans all the injuries Cincinnati has. So I'm going to lay to 7 with the Bengals. Packers-Lions. The Packers are giving 3.5. Total is 49.5. My projections are very close. I have it 4.5 and 48.25. So a slight lean on the Packers and a slight lean to the under. I'm quickly going to check if there's been anybody of note ruled out over the last 2 days. Nope. So I'm going to go slight under with my pick here. On CBS, you have the Colts and the Patriots from Foxborough. The Patriots are 4.5-point favorites. Totals 40.5. I project 3 and 39 and a 10th. So the pick is looking like the slight under. A lot of questionables for Indy. And same for New England. But the pick's going to be a slight under. Also on CBS, the Bills and the Jets. The Bills are favored by a whopping 11.5. Totals 45.5. I'm going to take the Jets. I know there's a lot of injuries and such, but that's just too many points. And it's a division home dog, which I love betting. Jordan Poyer ruled out for the Bills. So that has to make me change my projected line here on the spot. I project Bills 4.5 total, 42 and 9/20. Vikings Commanders on Fox. So Kirk Cousins back in DC. Minnesota is giving 3. Total is 43.5. Minnesota has a lot of new additions from the trade deadline, or one in particular that they want to show off. And that's Hawkinson, the tight end that they got from the Lions. I'm going to lay it with Minnie. I project a whopping 10, total 42 and 3/10. I just think they're much better than Washington. Washington's still with a lot of injuries, so I'm going to lay to 3 with Minnie against the Commanders. And on CBS, you have the Raiders and the Jaguars. The Raiders are favored in this game by 1.5. Total is 47.5. I project a pick 'em in 44 3/4, so I'm going to take the under. I don't really like picking unders with good offenses, like the Raiders, but Darren Waller might not play. Devontae Adams is questionable. So, under is the play. 4 o'clock window now. On Fox, you got the Seahawks and the Cardinals from Arizona. These two teams played a few weeks ago. Seattle won. Zone is a 1.5 point favorite. Total is 49.5. I project Seattle by a half. Total 50 and 3/20. So I'm taking the Seahawks getting the 1.5, and I think they win the game outright too. They're plus 114. They've been better than Arizona this year, and they are one of the several feel-good stories of the season so far. And the theme of this show, and I think last week's show too, was keep the good vibes going. So, we are taking the Seahawks, getting the points, and plus 114 to win the game outright. On CBS at 4:25 is the Rams and the Bucks. Jim Nantz, Tony Romo on the call. Nationally televised game. But this is an egg on the face moment for CBS because the Rams and the Bucks both are not good this year. And they thought they were going to be the all-world teams. The Bucks are giving 3, totals 42.5. I project 1.5 and 38.25. Looks like the Bucks are getting some key pieces back outside of Shaq Barrett, so that's good. Cam Akers now questionable to play, so that changes my projection because I had him slated as out. So my line moves from 1.5 now to 1, but it's not going to change my pick. I'm going with the under. The Bucks defense without Shaq Barrett, I think, will still be good for at least this game against a weak Rams offense. So I'm going to go with the under. And last but not least, Sunday Night Football. We have the Titans and the Chiefs on NBC. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth. Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth on the call. Oh my God. Still not used to those two being apart. The Chiefs are a whopping 11.5 point favorites, total 44.5. I project 5 and 47 and 11/20. Chiefs coming off the bye, obviously. Getting some key players back in the lineup, and key guys for them are questionable to play rather than doubtful. Jeffrey Simmons questionable. Ryan Tannehill still questionable. But if Tannehill's not there, my projection changes. I project 5 and 47 and 11/20. Obviously, that's the number with Tannehill in the lineup. So, right now, I'm going to take the Titans getting the points as my pick. I'm going to keep it like that, even if Tannehill doesn't play. I just think that Derrick Henry is going to keep them within the numbers, and the Chiefs really haven't been blowing anybody out at home this year. Like, the Raiders almost beat them, and the Raiders are a team that lost to the same Titans team. So, Give me the Titans getting the 11.5 in Kansas City against the Chiefs. And then Monday night, we'll save for Monday night. College football. We'll go over the games from last night and look ahead to a very busy weekend ahead. Alrighty. Last night, Rice over UTEP 37-30. Rice is 5-4, UTEP's 4-6, and Coastal Carolina over Appalachian State 35-28. That was a lock. I thought Coastal's 8-1, App State's 5-4. All right, 3 games tonight, 7 o'clock, CBS Sports Network, UMass UConn. Crazy that UConn, this is a big game for them because they're 2 wins away from a bowl. Who had UConn in a bowl before the year? But here we are. UConn's a 15.5-point favorite. Total's 40.5. Give me UMass getting the points. I have 9.5 and 43 and 2 fifths. ESPN2 Duke Boston College. Duke's giving a whopping 10.5. Total's 46.5. I'm taking BC getting all those points at home. I have 1.5 and 51 and 3/10. And it's 10:30 on ESPN2. Number 23 Oregon State at Washington. Washington's a 4.5-point favorite. Total is 54.5. Give me the over. My projection is Washington 1, total 61 and 17/20. Saturday is a big day in the sport. 11:30 on CBS. You have Air Force and Army from Choctaw Stadium, which is the Texas Rangers Stadium. They changed it from Globe Life Park to that stadium, so I have to make an adjustment on my line because I didn't realize that it was a neutral site game for Air Force Army. Air Force is giving 7.5, total 40.5. I project 7 and 54 and 9/10. Over. 12 o'clock on ABC, number 2 Ohio State at Northwestern. Ohio State's giving a whopping 38.5, totals 55.5. Giving Northwestern getting all the points. That's way too high. I have 22.5 and 56.25. Texas Tech at number 7 TCU on Fox. TCU's favored by 8.5, total is 69.5. I'm laying the points for TCU. I have 13 and 67 and 2 fifths. Number 17, North Carolina at Virginia. Virginia's a 7.5-point underdog, total of 60.5. Give me the under. I have 8 and 55 and 4 fifths. ESPNU, number 19, Tulane at Tulsa. Tulane is giving 7.5. Total is 57.5. Tough call here. But I'm going to take a slight lean to Tulane. Slight lean to Tulsa. I have Tulane 6, total 58 and 7/10. SEC Network, Kentucky, Missouri. Kentucky's giving 1.5. Total is 40.5. Give me the over. I have Kentucky by half. Total 44 and 3 fifths. ESPN Florida, Texas A&M. A&M's giving 3.5. Total is 55.5. Give me the under. I have A&M 1.5. Total 52 and 3/20. ESPN 2, Minnesota, Nebraska. Minnesota's giving a whopping 15.5, total 45.5. Give me Nebraska getting all those points. I have Minnesota 2, total 52. Fox Sports 1, Iowa and Purdue. Purdue's giving 3.5, totals 38.5. Giving the over. I know there's supposed to be terrible conditions for rain in the forecast, apparently. I have Purdue 6.5, total 45.25. Big Ten Network, Maryland, Wisconsin. Wisconsin's giving 4.5, totals 49.5. So I have a 4.5 point edge on Maryland. So my line is Maryland 1. And I have an over 6 point edge on the over. So the pick's going to be the over. That makes me feel a little better. So give me the over with that pick. Western Kentucky, Charlotte on CBS Sports Network. Western's giving 15.5. Total is 72.5. Give me the under. That's way too high. I have 6.5 and 63 and 7/10. 12:30, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's giving 2.5, totals 40.5. Over. I have 5.5 and 44 and 3/10. 2 o'clock, South Florida, Temple. South Florida's giving 3.5. Total is 50.5. Give me Temple getting the 3.5 and plus 146 outright. I have Temple 3.5, total 52 and 11/20. Marshall, Old Dominion. Marshall's giving 2.5, totals 46.5. Very close call on this one, so slight lean to Old Dominion. I have 1.5 and 47. 3 o'clock, Baylor, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a 3.5 point favorite, total 61.5. I have 7 and 65 and 19/20, so the pick's the over. Georgia State and Southern Miss. Southern Miss is giving 2.5, totals 48.5. So the pick here is going to be the over. I have 6 and 54 and 17/20. Middle Tennessee and Louisiana Tech. I have Pick'em and 64 is my projection, and the line's 2.5 and 63.5. Again, Louisiana Tech's the pick. I know Middle Tennessee shoot me in the ass last week with beating UTEP, but not going against Middle in Fab 5 again. So give me, for just a give-out pick, La Tech plus 2.5 and plus 106 to win on the field. The big one. Number 1, Tennessee at number 3, Georgia. Game day's at the house, and deservingly so. This is the game of the year. Prove it for Tennessee, although I feel like they've proven to us already. But are they truly number 1 is the question. Georgia's an 8.5, my favorite, total 66.5. I'm going to go with the under. Georgia defense is going to step up. I project 8 and 61 and 7/20. On ESPN, number 8, Oregon at Colorado. Didn't realize how similar the 8 people was to the college football playoff rankings this week. That's kind of weird. Oregon is giving a whopping 31.5. Total is 62.5. Give me Cal getting the points. I have 17 and 63 in the 10th. ABC, number 15, Penn State at Indiana. Penn State is favored by 13.5. Totals 49.5. I project 7.5 and 55 and the 10th. So an over, like about a 6.5 point edge on the over. And a 6 point edge on Indiana. We're going to go with the over because I really don't trust Indiana. So over 45.5 is the pick there. Big Ten Network, Michigan State at number 16, Illinois. Illinois is favored by 16.5. Total is 40.5. Give me Sparty getting all the points. I understand the suspensions are looming big, but I don't trust Illinois as that big of a favorite. Fox Sports 1, number 18, Oklahoma State at Kansas. Kansas is a 1.5 point favorite, total 63.5. Everyone and their mother is betting on Kansas. My God. Listen, it's a fabulous story. I'm rooting for them to do well and make a bowl. But they have other opportunities. Give me Oklahoma State plus the 1.5, even though it's juiced at minus 122. And they're minus 111, only minus 111 to win outright. But that's weird that Oklahoma State is favored on the money line, but Kansas is favored against the spread. You don't see that very often. And my line is 7.5 and 69 and 2/5. ACC Network, number 20, Syracuse at Pitt. Pitt is favored in this game by 3.5. Total is 48.5. Give me the over. I have Pitt by 2, total 54 and 9/10. Number 25, UCF at Memphis. UCF favored by 3.5, totals 58.5. Give me Memphis getting the 3.5. They can win outright too. They're plus 138. I have UCF 1, total 59 and 9/10. Pac-12 Network, Washington State and Stanford. Wazoo's giving 4.5, total 49.5. My projection is 3.5 and 48 and 2/5. So slight unders the pick. West Virginia, Iowa State. Iowa State's giving 7.5, totals 49.5. My projection is 3 and 53 and 3/5. West Virginia plus 7.5's the pick. New Mexico and Utah State on CBS Sports Network. Utah State's giving 14.5, totals 42.5. Give me New Mexico getting all the points. I have 8.5 and 46 and a 20th. Next, UTSA and UAB. It's a pick'em and 51.5. And UTSA is a 1 point favorite total. According to my projection, UTSA by 1, total 56 and 4/5. The pick's the under. 4 o'clock, Liberty, Arkansas. Arkansas's giving 14.5, total is 61.5. Give me Liberty getting all those points. That's way too many. I project 9 and 59 and a 20th. ESPNU, Navy, Cincinnati. Cincinnati's giving 18.5, totals 44.5. 1 pick, and that's the over. South Alabama and Georgia Southern. South Alabama is favored by 3.5, total is 16.5. Give me Georgia Southern getting the points. I have South Alabama by 0.5, total 58.25. FIU, North Texas. North Texas is giving a whopping 20.5, total 62.5. Giving FIU getting all those points. That is way too many points. And FIU's been playing better lately. Troy, Louisiana at 5. Troy's giving 3.5, totals 43.5. Give me Louisiana getting 3.5. I have Troy by 1, total 44 and a 10th. Texas State and UL Monroe. UL Monroe is favored by 1.5, total 52.5. I have Texas State 5.5, total 53 and a 20. So the pick's Texas State getting a 1.5 at plus 104. 7 o'clock, ESPN. Number 6, Alabama at number 10, LSU. overranked LSU, as I've mentioned on the podcast before. Alabama's favorite 13.5, total 56.5. Give me LSU getting the points. As much as I think LSU is overranked, I think that they're the right side here. No, they won't win outright, but I like them to cover that big number. So give me LSU getting the 13.5 at home against Alabama. I project 4.5 and 57 and 19/20. Fox Sports 1, number 24, Texas at number 13, Kansas State. Texas is favored in this game by 2.5. Total is 54.5. Wrong team's favorite. Give me Kansas State plus 2.5, plus 114 outright. I project Kansas State 4.5. Total 52 and 9/10. Texas is not back, folks. Just yet another reminder. BYU and Boise State on Fox Sports 2. Boise's favored by 7.5, total 54.5. Give me BYU getting the 7.5. I project 3.5 and 53 and 2/5. UNLV and San Diego State on CBS Sports Network. San Diego State's giving 6.5, totals 47.5. Give me the over. I have 6 and 50 and 9/20. Houston SMU on NFL Network. That's an odd game for that channel. SMU's a 3-point favorite, total 65.5. Give me Houston plus a 3 and plus 122 outright. I have Houston 3.5, total 65. NBC 7:30, number 4 Clemson at Notre Dame. The site where DJ Youngaloy made his debut and wowed everybody because Trevor Lawrence had COVID. Clemson's favored by 3.5, totals 44.5. Give me the over. I absolutely love the over. I have 4.5 and 53 3/4. That is way too low of a total. Big Ten Network, number 5 Michigan at Rutgers. In this game, Michigan is favored by 25.5, totals 44.5. I have 15 and 47, 11/20. It's giving me State University of New Jersey getting all those points. Pac-12 Network, Arizona at number 14, Utah. Utah in this game is favored by 17.5. Total is 67.5. Give me the under. I have 16.5 and 64 and 9/10. Auburn, Mississippi State. Yikes. Auburn with its intern coach. Miss State's favored by 12.5, total 50.5. Give me Auburn getting the points. Maybe they'll get a new an intern coach boost. I have Miss State by 6, total 53 and 3/4. South Carolina, Vanderbilt. South Carolina's giving 6.5, totals 48.5. Give me the over. I love this over. I have 8 and 59 and 1/20. ESPNU, James Madison and Louisville. Louisville's giving 7.5, totals 52.5. Give me Louisville minus 7.5. Their quarterback's finally back from injury. I have 14.5 and 55. ABC at 7:30. Florida State and Miami. Florida State's giving 7.5, totals 53.5. Give me Miami getting the points. I have Miami by 2.5, total 51 and 4/5, and give me plus 235 on the money line with the Canes as well. 8 o'clock ACC Network, number 21 Wake Forest at number 22 NC State. Devin Leary obviously out for the year, which is very unfortunate for NC State. Wake's favored by 3.5, totals 54.5. Give me NC State regardless, and they're plus 152 outright, but I would not go there. I'll just take them getting the 3.5. I project pick in 55 and a 20th. Number 12, UCLA at Arizona State on Fox Sports 1 at 10:30. UCLA is favored by 10.5, total 66.5. Give me the under. I have 7 and 59 and 9/10. $10:30 on ESPN. Cal at number 9 USC. SC's favored by a whopping 21.5, total 60.5. Give me the under again. I have 18 and 56 and 7/10. Colorado State, San Jose State. San Jose State's giving 24.5, total 44.5. Give me Colorado State getting all those points. I have 12 and 44. And last but not least, Hawaii and Fresno. The quarterback for Fresno is back. That was awesome to see. They're on Fox Sports 2. Fresno's giving 27.5, total 63.5. I have 9.5 and 51 in the 20th. Give me Hawaii getting all those points. That is way too high of a number. All right, now move on to the NBA. We'll quickly go over the games from last night and look ahead to tonight and the weekend's games. So there were only 2 games last night that were played. The first one, the Magic upset the Warriors by a score of 130 to 129, and the Nuggets beat the Thunder 122-110. All right, 7 o'clock, you have the Cavs and the Pistons. The Cavs are favored by 6.5, total 222. Give me the over. I have 5 and 226 and 9/20. Heat Pacers. Heat are favored by 3.5, total 227. I'm laying the 3.5 of the Heat. Sans no Jimmy Butler. I have 6 and 228 and 3/10. Knicks 76ers. Sixers are only laying 2.5, totals 218.5. That's because of the possibility of no Embiid and Harden. I still like the over because I think Tyrese Maxey can have a big game. I have 4 and 225 and a 10th, but if Embiid doesn't play, I'm going to move my line to Knicks by 2. Nets Wizards. The Wizards are giving 2.5, total 224. I love Washington minus the 2.5. I have 7.5 and 226.5. I love the Wizards so much. 7:30 ESPN, Bulls Celtics, Mike Breen, Doris Burke on the call. Celtics are 7-point favorites, total to 22.5. I'm laying the 7 with the Celtics. I have 12.5 and 225 and 720. It's a bounce back spot for them and a revenge spot from the other night. 8 o'clock, Hornets, Grizzlies. Memphis is giving a whopping 11.5, total to 28.5, but still I'm laying the 11.5. I have 19 3/4, total 220 or 232 and 7/20. Clippers, Spurs. I have Clippers are favored by 4.5, total 224.5. I'm laying the points for the Clippers. Sans no Kawhi. I project 7 and 222 and 7/20. Raptors, Mavs at 8:30. Mavs are favored by 3.5, total 217. I actually project the Raptors as a 1.5 point favorite, total to 22 and 1/5. So the pick's going to be the over. Warriors, Pelicans. Oh, baby. The Pelicans are 5-point favorites, total 233. Give me the over. I have 6.5 and 235 and 19/20. ESPN at 10 o'clock, Bucks, Timberwolves. This is going to be Jeff Van Gundy and Ryan Ruocco on the call with Ross Goldawande as your sideline host. Bucks are giving 3.5, totals to 27. Give me the under. I think the Bucks are going to play some defense here. I have 5.5 in favor of the Bucks, total 221 and 9/20. Blazers, Suns. The Blazers beat the Suns. That's the Suns' only loss this year. Suns are giving 10.5, totals 220. am laying it with the Suns. No Dame. I have 17.5 and 224 and 13.20. And last but not least, 10:30 from Crypto, Jazz Lakers. Lakers are giving 2.5 totals, 225.5. I hate the pick with every bit of my heart. No LeBron could change it. I project 7 and 223 and 2 fits. That line goes down to 1 if LeBron doesn't play. But as of now, I am laying 2.5 points with the Los Angeles Lakers at home against the Jazz. And that's the first time I think I've given out the Lakers so far. Actually, no, it's the second time I've given out the Lakers. I picked the Lakers in their game against the Clippers, which they lost. All right, Saturday, 5 o'clock, Kings Magic, 7 o'clock, Nets Hornets, 7:30 NBA TV, Celtics Knicks. Pelicans Hawks, 8 o'clock, Thunder Bucks, Rockets Timberwolves, 9 o'clock, Spurs Nuggets, and 10 o'clock on NBA TV, the Trailblazers and the Suns against. That's 3 times that these two teams have met within the first several weeks of the year. That's crazy. And then Sunday, 3:30, the Cavs at the Lakers, 6 o'clock, the Bulls at the Raptors, the Wizards at the Grizzlies, and 10 o'clock, the Jazz at the Clippers. So, the Crypto.com has a doubleheader on Sunday. All right, now we'll move on to the NHL. We'll recap the busy slate from last night and look ahead to tonight's and the weekend's games. Alrighty. So, the Red Wings beat the Caps 3-1. Golden Knights over the Senators 5-4. Hurricanes over Lightning 4-3. Bruins over the Rangers 5-2. And by the way, Canes over the Lightning was in a shootout. Kraken over the Wild 4-0. Isles over the Blues 5-2. Jets over the Canadiens 3-2 in overtime on a game winner by Kyle Connor. Blackhawks over the Kings 2-1 in overtime on a game winner by Jonathan Taves. Preds over the Flames 4-1. Devils over the Oilers 4-3. Stars over the Coyotes 7-2. Canucks over the Ducks 8-5. Wow, and that was best bet to the over in that game. The Canucks did it by themselves. And the Panthers over the Sharks 4-3 in a shootout. All right, 2 games. So a 2 o'clock in the afternoon game today between the Jackets and the Avalanche from Nokia Arena in Finland. So that's pretty cool. The Avs are minus 255. Columbus is plus 205. Over under 6.5. Over is minus 112. Under is minus 108. Jackets plus 1.5 is minus 115. Avs minus 1.5 is minus 106. Because it's overseas and such, I kind of think that the Blue Jackets might hang around. So I'm giving you Columbus plus 1.5 to hang around. And 7 o'clock, you have the Sabres and the Hurricanes. The Canes are minus 196. The Sabres are plus 162. Over under 7. Over is plus 126. Under is minus 158. Sabres plus 1.5 is minus 144. Canes minus 1.5 is plus 118. The Sabres have been a pleasant surprise so far this season. But I don't know if they're capable of going to Carolina and winning that game. So, I'm going to go first period result, Carolina Hurricanes plus 128. All right, Saturday, big window. 1 o'clock, Isles Red Wings. 2 o'clock, Avs Jackets again from Finland. 3 o'clock, Blackhawks Jets. 4 o'clock, Stars Oilers. 7 o'clock, Golden Knights Canadiens. Flyers Sens, Kraken Penguins, Sabres Lightning. Bruins Leafs on the NHL Network. Coyotes Caps, 10 o'clock, Devils Flames, Preds Canucks. 10:30, Panthers Kings. And Ducks Sharks. Sunday, 5 o'clock on ESPN, you have the Maple Leafs and the Hurricanes. Also, you have the Rangers hosting the Red Wings at the Garden. And 9 o'clock on the NHL Network, you have the Panthers and the Ducks. All right, tomorrow we have the MLS Cup on Fox at 4 o'clock. It is the Philadelphia Union at LAFC. It's the dream matchup that everybody wanted. Best goalie in the league against the best player in the league, in my opinion, in Carlos Vela, and then obviously Andre Blake, the goalie from Philly. It's going to be a great game tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. LAFC is a minus 130 home favorite. The Union are plus 280, and the draw, so no kicks, is plus 290. I don't know if they go to sudden death or not, which is interesting. So that's a good question. Do they go to a sudden death? All right, so what happens in the MLS Cup final is tied? Are there penalties? So it's 30 minutes of extra time followed by by penalty shootout. So extra time will consist of 2 halves lasting 15 minutes, and each team will be played in its entirety. If the two teams still can't be separated after the additional half hour, a best-of-5 penalty shootout will be held. So this is similar as the playoffs, except the extra time is longer. So I put a lot of thought into where I want to go for this game. These two teams were tied in points on the season. But due to some tiebreakers, MLS has put in LAFC earned the home field in the game. But the Union defensively are really good. And they have the best goalie in soccer in Andre Blake. And the best defender in the league in Jacob Glesnes. So, all due respect to Carlos Vela and LAFC, who have been an offensive machine all season long. And their goalie has been amazing all year as well in Maxime Crepeau. But I didn't realize that Carlos Vela, was he subbed out in that game? He got a yellow card. So that's, why does it look like it says that he was subbed out? But yeah, LAFC's very talented. But I'm taking the Philadelphia Union at plus 280 on the road. They'll get this done. I really think that it's their time to shine. It's always has been sunny in Philadelphia of late. And yes, the Phillies lost. The Eagles are still undefeated. But the Phillies are still in the World Series. And that city just has some good vibes right now, outside of maybe the Sixers. And keep the good vibes going. We're taking the Union plus 280 to knock off LAFC on the road. In the day game, more importantly, not in the night game. If it was a night game, I'd probably pick LAFC. But I really like the Union here on the road at plus 280. That's tremendous value for a team that had the same number of points as LAFC and has a better goalie and a better defense than LAFC. So give me the plus 280 with the Philadelphia Union. They're my pick to win the MLS Cup 2022. All right, now I'll move on to golf. We will go over the leaderboard very quickly for the OHL Classic. So tied for first with 9 under is Will Gordon and Sam Ryder. Third with 8 under is Ryan Henley. Tied for fourth with 7 under, Sam Piercy and Francesco Molinari. Tied for sixth with 6 under, Dylan Lingworth, Martin Lair, Victor Hof, and Scotty Scheffler, Patty Kazir. Joseph Brumlett, John Huff, Matt McNeely, Harry English, J.J. Spawn, Danny Willett, Troy Merritt. Grayson Sieg is tied in the next group, and then Taylor Montgomery. Tied for 19th with 5 under. Taylor Montgomery is not. Grayson Sieg is. David Lipsky, Patrick Rogers, Ben Griffin, Matthias Schwab, Adam Hadwin, Brian Harmon, Taylor Hogue, Matt Kuchar. Tied for 28th with 4 under is a pretty big tie. I'm just going to go through notables the rest of the way here. Davis Riley, James Hahn, Seamus Peller, Emiliano Grillo, Tyler Duggan, Mark Hubbard, Kramer Hickok, Ryan Moore, Alex Loren, Ryan Moore, Aaron Weiss, Brendan Todd, Henrik Norlander, Lucas Hodges, Scott Stevens, Nate Hardy. Tied for 47th with 3 under. Brandon Wu, Hayden Buckley, Charlie Hoffman, Joel Dahman, Robert Streb, Ben Taylor, Lucas Glover, Evan Van Roy, and Tony Finau, Matt Wallace, Patrick Knowles, Michael Giljic. Tied for 64th with 2 under. Chad Ramey, Grayson Higo, Rory Sabatini, Seb Straka, Justin Rose, who was my pick, MJ Dauphe. Tied for 76th with 1 under. Doug Gibb, Austin Cook, Nate Taylor, Danny Lee, Sebastian Munoz, Brett Horschel, Cam Young, Harry Higgs, Thomas Dietrich. Tied for 92nd at even. Colin Morikawa, Alex Baddeley, Kevin Tway, Bayo Hostler, Russell Knox, Adam Long, Andrew Landry, Adam Putnam, Chris Kirk, Sayu Kim. Tied for 105 with 1 over. J.D. Potson, Aaron Wright, Keith Mitchell, Dylan Fratelli, Chung Sun Pong, Robbie Shelton, Nate Lashley. Tied for 114th with 2 over. Ryan Palmer, Jason Duffner, Jason Day. Tied for 118th with 3 over. Joaquin Herman, Cam Champ. Tied for 121st with 4 over. Callum Tarrant, Ben Grant. Tied for 126th with 5 over. Richie Wierenski. 129th with 5 over or 6 over. Ben Martin. And withdrawing from the competition, Ches Ravi. So we'll go over the results on Monday's show. And now we'll move on to championship weekend of NASCAR, which is crazy. So the Truck Series Championship 4, we have Ty Majeski, Zane Smith, Chandler Smith, and Ben Rhodes. That is a fabulous Final Four for their race tonight at Phoenix. Those have been, in my opinion, the best 4 drivers in the Truck Series this year. So the matchups are up, but not the odds for the race, which is odd. So they have head-to-head, which is very bizarre, and they don't have the race odds up. But they have the race odds up for Xfinity and Cup. But my blind pick, without knowing the odds, to win the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series Championship race from Phoenix, I'm going to go with Ty Majeski. And I think he will win the title. Xfinity, 6 o'clock on USA from Phoenix tomorrow night. So the championship for the Xfinity is Josh Berry, Noah Gragson, Ty Gibbs, and Justin Allgaier. Those 4 have all been wonderful drivers. Gragson has 8 wins this year. Berry has 3. Gibbs has 6. And Allgaier has 3. And Gragson, Gibbs, Allgaier, and Berry are all in the top 4 in odds for this race. I think the best bet to win the race from a value standpoint is Berry at 5-1 in terms of those guys. But I think Gragson's going to win the championship. But in terms of the race winner, let's go with Brandon Jones at 15-1 to win the championship race. And now the Cup Series championship race. Their championship for, we talked about it on the Monday podcast. It is Chris Bell, it's Ross Chaston, it's Chase Elliott, and it's Joey Logano. And Elliott, Logano, Bell, and Chaston are your top four in the odds. Elliott's plus 230, Bell's 3-1, Logano and Chaston are 4-1. But this is for the race itself from Phoenix. To win the race, I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin at 18-1 to win the race. But to win the title, obviously Chris Bell has 3 wins. Chaston has 2, Elliott is 5, and Logano is 3. I'm going to say Logano wins the championship this year. But my pick to win the race, we're going to go with Denny Hamlin at 5-1. All right, Masked Singer is on tonight. We forgot to promote that in the beginning of the show. So it's going to be on, unless there's a Game 7 of the World Series. It's going to be 8 o'clock on Sunday night on Fox after football, if there is no baseball. So we haven't talked about the Masked Singer in a week and a half. Miss Piggy was a guest panelist. She was terrible. We had Robo Girl, we have Beetle, and we have the Lambs. The Lambs are going to move on. And there's a squirrel character that is wearing like a raincoat. And there's another character, too, that the Lambs will go up against. Robo Girl and Beetle went home. Beetle went home first. My final guess was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Nicole said Rowan Atkinson. Ken said Mike Myers. Jenny and Robin said Jerry Springer. Miss Piggy said John Larroquette. And it was Jerry Springer. Battle Royale was to Call Me by Blondie. Robo Girl went first, and then the Lambs went second. But the Lambs upset Robo Girl. The Lambs had no business moving on. I'm sorry. Robo Girl went home. My final guess for Robo Girl is Ashley Simpson, because this was a multi-threat singer, actress, and does it all. So I went with Ashley Simpson. And that's somebody else that the panelists have thrown out there in the past. Ken said Sydney Sweeney. Jenny said Shay Mitchell. Nicole said Liza Choche. Robin said Kiki Palmer. Miss Piggy stupidly said herself. She should be banned from being a guest panelist. She was awful. And who was it? It was Kat Graham, who nobody got. So it's going to be interesting to see how Sunday's episode, if it happens, unfolds. All right, news and notes for today. I'm going to try to be very quick here. We will start in football. That Michael Thomas was placed on injury reserve. And Dennis Allen says that he'll undergo toe surgery, does not expect him to play again this season. Oh my goodness, what a disaster. We thought Michael Thomas was just going to be this great receiver, and all he's been is injured. Rashad Bateman out for the season as he underwent Liz Frank surgery on his left foot. That's brutal news for the Ravens. Jeff Bezos is considering partnering with Jay-Z to purchase the Washington Commanders. That would be very interesting if Bezos purchased the team. It would make sense of Bezos to do it. So the Vols UGA, according to TickPick, is the most expensive regular season college football game ever on record. I would not have guessed that. The big NBA news we discussed with Jeff Burns last night: Kyrie Irving suspended without pay for at least 5 games after failing to apologize about the comments he made during yesterday's media session. We went over this with Jeff yesterday, and we don't think Kyrie Irving should play for the Brooklyn Nets anymore. And he did come out with an apology later last night, and he says he meant no harm by posting the anti-Semitic film. Didn't apologize, didn't confirm that he has no anti-Semitic beliefs. And then like I said, he ended up apologizing late last night, but this was yesterday, which led him to get suspended. Adam Silver met with Kyrie, which was the right thing, and it took Adam Silver too long, honestly. We criticized him yesterday, me and Jeff. Ex-employee is suing the Spurs and Josh Primo. The former Spurs psychologist is also filing a criminal complaint about alleging Josh Primo exposed himself to her 9 times. Wow. So, the controversial call in the Warriors Heat game from the other night. The NBA's last 2-minute reports say Tyler Harrow should have been called for travel before the game winner. James Harden out for a month after suffering right foot tendon sprain. We alluded to this doing the picks. That's a big loss for Philly. Baseball. Starling Marte has core surgery and expected to be ready for spring training. Royals expected to re-sign Zach Greinke, as the Royals are interested in bringing back Greinke for his 20th season. Maybe they're trying to be the Guardians of next year. That'd be really interesting. And then the White Sox name former Royals bench coach Pedro Grifol as manager. That's something that we thought was going to happen, and it did. All right, Best Bet brought to you by FanDuel. There's so many ways that I can conceivably go here. And the pick is going to be I'm thinking the NBA. I'm going to lay the 3 at the Wiz against Nets. This is just an anti-Brooklyn pick. So I'm going to lay the 3 with the Wizards at home against the Nets. All right, the Fab Five. We'll start in the NFL this week. So the Fab Five is a little harder than I thought it was going to be for this week. So, the first pick, I'm taking the Jets getting the points. I just think that they're going to play hard and stay in this game despite the injury. So, first pick, Jets plus 11.5. Second pick, I'm laying it with the Vikings again for the second week in a row. Kirk Cousins revenge game, laying the 3 with the Vikings against the Commanders. Next pick, I'm taking the Falcons getting the 3 at home against the Chargers. This Falcons team, to me, just has a knack for being in close games. Chargers have a bunch of injuries, so give me the Falcons getting the 3. The fourth pick of the Fab Five, I'm going to go with I don't feel good about it, but I'm going to lay the 7 with the Bengals against the Panthers, only because I just think this is the correct bounce back spot despite all the injuries. It's going to be the Bengals minus 7 at home against the Panthers. And then the last pick, I'm going to go under 42.5 in Rams-Bucks. I decided to stay away from Chiefs-Titans because of the uncertainty of Ryan Tannehill. So instead, I'm going with under 42.5 in the Rams-Bucks game. Moneyline pick of the week. I'm taking the Atlanta Falcons plus 134. This is the first time in 4 weeks I'm not taking a New York team. This time I'm taking the Falcons plus 134 at home against the Chargers for the reasons I alluded to earlier. And the college football Fab Five. First pick. I like a lot of totals this week. So you're going to see perhaps 3 of them. So the first one is over 48.5 in Maryland, Wisconsin. I just think that's a low total. So give me that over. Second pick of the Fab Five. We are going to go with the over in Penn State, Indiana. I just think that's a higher scoring game than some folks may expect. Pick number 3 of the Fab Five. We are going to go with FIU getting the 20.5 at North Texas. I know that's a lot of points. But FIU's better than what it's really shown of late. Pick number 4 of the Fab Five. I'm going to go with the over in Clemson, Notre Dame. I just think that DJ Youngale performs up the capabilities here. And then one more total for you, another over. It's South Carolina and Vanderbilt. That is way too low. So give me over 48.5 in South Carolina, Vanderbilt. And the money line pick of the week. In college football, I'm going to go with the team that is desperate. They're home, a conference underdog, and that is the Miami Hurricanes. They are plus 235 at home against Florida State. So that's my money line pick of the week. All right, so that's it for today's show. I'll be back on Monday, recapping everything from the weekend. Look ahead to everything going on Monday. And I hope you guys have a fabulous weekend, everyone.